Urban Disconnect, Unsocial Media, Stories from My Stained Glass Art. This panel was the second panel I designed of a 2-series design to be sent into an exhibition. This window got chosen for the full touring exhibition in Ireland by the Glass Society of Ireland, and the first design was chosen just for the second half. So this is the design I'm going to be talking about here, and the second half is I'm currently actually making, and that's going to be up in October. So, end of October. So the design brief we were given was connecting. The two windows, I went down a more of a male-female kind of route. This is something I always enjoy doing in my design work. Yin and yang, opposites attract type thing, sort of along those routes of how relationships complement each other. In these two particular designs, I chose to go with the more natural way of courtship, the old way before technology. You meet, go for a walk in a natural grow in nature, grow and connect together. I'll go more into this when I've actually made the panel for the design, which will be made in the next few weeks. So for the second design, which is the one I'm showing you now, the panel here which I am discussing, I figured I would do today's relationships vibes, which is more internet based. Most people are meeting on dating apps. Most people spend a very large amount of their time, on their free time, on social media, and it's not very social at all. It should probably be renamed lonely media or unsocial media of some sort. I myself do not use dating apps. I've downloaded Tinder 3 or 4 times since its conception and have had it for under a week each time, and I don't like using it. Funny enough, I did just recently download Tinder just before designing this window, so it did probably have an effect on my design, which is interesting because I know the buzz of Tinder. It's designed to keep you on there. There are way more men on it than there are women. Statistically, I think it's something like, where I have it here, like 80 to 90% of men swipe right. You see them, they just like fucking zombies, and it just gives women kind of like inflated egos. And I know women personally who have told me they go on it just for confidence boost. They're not on there to date at all. They just like to see how many likes they get. And whilst women swipe right, I think it's about 5% of the time, leaving men to feel quite shit about themselves. So I stay off dating websites, and that's my advice. Now, I do know quite a few people who are in long-term relationships because of the likes of Tinder. I don't know about other dating websites, but Tinder, and some of these people have even gotten married. But I would say it's a lot more that this doesn't actually happen. So enough about fucking Tinder shite. It's the ever-continuing evasion of technology warping itself into every aspect of our lives. You're boxed in, square rooms, square buildings. In this panel you'll notice that there are a good few number of internal right angles. I don't know how to do that with my hands, it's on the screen anyways. It's not exactly rare, but it's very uncommon to see these in stained glass because they cause stress in the glass, and they're very difficult to kind of cut. So, but I wanted to put them in just to show the like blocky form, and it reminds me of the concrete jungles all over the world now. Giant cities everywhere, all the exact same shops, same corporate shit, just different faces and different languages. The fiery look to the building here, it's kind of shows how many people inside just feel with the burning loneliness. All connected on the grid, the cityscape grid, everything and everyone is all connected. Connecting to your Bluetooth headphones instead of saying hello to people you walk past on your way down the street. It's funny, when I first moved to where I currently live, well, I don't live there anymore, I wrote this a different time, Haverhill, I lived with a literal crackhead. He was smoking crack. He worked a night shift, so I didn't actually see him that much, but he was a full-blown crackhead. I mean, taxi driver, and it was weird, but you know, it is what it is. I knew no one in this town. I didn't want to drink anymore, so I was staying out of pubs. I actually have some. So I moved to England in February 2024 and was there for 18 months. So this is kind of where I'm home now. I did move there for several reasons. I wanted to get away from my hometown so I could stop drinking so much and doing drugs, and I wanted to get back into doing stained glass every day, as I hadn't worked for a studio in a while. I wanted time on my own with no distractions, so that I could grow in mind, body, and soul. And I did do that. So I kind of, when I moved there, I didn't want to drink, so that's how I usually would meet people. I'm a very social person. That's how I'd meet people when I'd go out. I'd go to the pubs. I realised after a month or two that I was finding the weekends a bit hard. While I was living here, I was putting my head down and I was working really hard, but I could go Friday night to Monday morning without speaking to anyone. It's the weirdest thing living in this world. I grew up during a time when we didn't have mobile phones, where we'd be out with the neighbour kids, and you would see the adults all out with the neighbours as well. I don't even think I spoke to my neighbours in that house that I was living in. And the last house I was living in before I went home, I didn't speak to the neighbours. Like here in Ireland, I speak to the neighbours. I know when I lived in Swansea, I would have spoke to some of the neighbours, but they were like shocked that I was speaking to them. They were like, just people don't talk to each other anymore. It's weird. So the point I'm trying to make is that we're all locked up in our square rooms, square houses, and it's harder to build relationships and friendships with people. There are ways to do these things. For example, I joined boxing. That was my social life. So if you want to go like from I said I went over there for mind, body and soul. My mind was kind of like my career, so I made friends in my career. I made good friends in work. I met a lot of my fellow peers at conferences and stuff like that. So I met a lot more people in the stained glass world. My body, as I said, I joined a boxing club. I'd run a lot, but something about boxing and fighting and stuff like that. Like I really, really enjoyed it. Got the head punched off me a lot by a bunch of fucking teenagers. You know who you are if you're listening. And I ended up travelling around the country with them, going to see their fights, and they come and see me fight. I've had 2 fights over there, and it was great fun. There's something about martial arts and fighting and boxing that you just have it's like a weird bond from fighting each other, which sounds yin and yang, the opposites, but it's similar to what, I don't know what this has to do or anything, I'm just saying. I don't know why I'm saying, but anyways. There are ways to do these things. For example, I joined a boxing club, and then me soul. I joined back. I'm a born again Christian, and I decided to go back to Catholic Church in England of all places. But yeah, I joined the Catholic Church, and I got to know people there. It was great. I really enjoyed that little bit of community there, and yeah. So I actually wrote, I don't think that was the point I was trying to make, and I fucking said it as well. But anyways, we're fucking just kind of flowing here at the same time. We're working here, so we'll edit this out maybe. It's a continuation of a panel that I'd done before, a William Morris panel. It was about how AI is just kind of infecting into everything, and just technology's infecting into everything, and we kind of need to sit down and have a talk. You don't necessarily have to have a talk. You kind of need to do your own things, or your action steps towards getting out a bit more. So the concept I'm trying to express, the feelings of people who are having to deal with the consequences, good and bad, of this giant technological social experiment, because that's what it is. It's an experiment. We don't know what's going to happen. We will find out, because it's not going away. The mindset I'm trying to get into is just less consuming, less time on the screens. If you're creating, that's okay. Like I said, there's good and there's bad. But if your consumption is more than your creation, switch it up. And then go out into the real world. Not the cities and the stone, but the nature. I like to take my shoes and socks off and walk around in the grass. Like a hippie. It's good for you. Re-energize you. We're like batteries connecting to the earth, I think. So meet people, create relationships, and get away from the blocks, which is giving you a mental block. Enjoy life. It's a gift. That's why it's called the present. And yeah, I think that's it really. It took a lot longer to meet people through this whole me moving away. It took a lot longer to meet people that way, not going online. and not going to the pub. But the relationships that I built through it were much better. So I know I'm trying to describe this panel here that I've made. I didn't live it. I've never really lived it. I can see it affecting other people. I don't necessarily have these problems. I do have some of the problems, but they're not as bad as others. I'm a very social person. Other people aren't as social as me. I know that. And a lot of people just sitting inside doing fuck all. And it's just creating, like, everyone knows there's an epidemic of loneliness out there. I don't personally feel that, but I'm putting myself into other people's positions, a bit of empathy, and yeah, you know, just do what you love. If you like creating, if you like doing things, you like art, you like sports, you know, mind, body and soul, do all of them, and your life will be better. And just stay off the fucking screens as much as you can. I'm using them from work. I know I'm recording myself here doing this, but you're better off. You'll be much happier, more content life. And as I said, try and maybe create more instead of indulging. For them dopamine hits, you feel much better in the long run. And yeah, that's that. So this is Urban Disconnect, unsocial media. It's currently on exhibition at Jerpoint Studio in Kilkenny. It's going to be moving to the Botanical Gardens in Dublin in the last week of October. This is the other one that I'm currently making, and that's kind of the old way, the good way, where you meet people out in like just real life. So yeah, this is a long form video. I don't do too many of them. I'm gonna try and do one a week, and just that's it. Follow along. I'll be posting this on my YouTube anyways. I might do clips and put them on my Instagram and wherever else. So yeah, go on. See you later. Have a good one.